Very good morning to all of you. What we have done in our previous lab, that is a few of the commands, right, related to file, input, output, and so many things. Fine. Now, today, what we are going to do is first open the virtual lab. So, here you need to open the virtual lab. In that image processing lab, right? I'm giving you the link here. Now, first experiment you have already done, if I'm not wrong. First experiment you have done, say yes or no. Yes. Excuse me. Yeah. So here in this distance and connectivity, directly go on to the experiment. You are choosing this or this first pixel and the second pixel, and you are finding the distance. When there would be a city block means when you are going to a city, right? How you can look for the roads, either left, right, straight, and back, right? Four possibilities are only there. Four roads will be there generally, right? So you can move on either like this, first horizontal, then vertical, and so on, right? So that is your city blocks. Then this chessboard means you can directly move like this in diagonal way, right? In this diagonal way also you can move. And Euclidean means it is finding by its own, like what formulas we have already seen. You can read that thing into this theory, right? You can read this in the vector form, that is referred to as L2 norm. This is four connected distance, sometimes called the Manhattan distance. And this is 8 connected, so you can move on to the 8 pixels, right? No, so here again back to the experiment. So you can find, you can calculate this, right? This is only the 8 units, right? The distance was only 8 units. Again I'm running it, right? It is 14 units where you are using city blocks, right? When you are using city blocks, because it is four connected only, so you have to move like this. That is why. If it is chessboard, then you can see that it would be less than this, right? It is only 7 units, only diagonal path it is following. And if it is Euclidean, it is a mediator value between city block and this chessboard, right? It's 9.90 units somehow. Fine. So this is how they are finding the distance. Then you can even check for this convert from binary to grayscale, right? Binary to grayscale image. You are just checking for this distance, right? Create the ISO distance plot, right? They are showing you your whole image into the terms of pixels. So check the different things, right? Okay. Do the first experiment if you have not yet done. Please do it. Open the virtual lab and do the first one. I hope you guys are doing. You guys are working on it. Then we'll start with the second experiment, second, third, fourth, and sixth. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Now you can explore this second experiment, which is about image arithmetic. Now, what is there in image arithmetic? So, see, we have already learned no, that how to do the matrix addition, matrix subtraction, and all. So, why we have done this thing so well? Because image arithmetic is actually nothing but that what you are doing with the matrix. That is only what we are going to do, because your image is treated as what? Matrix. So you are adding two images, means you are adding two matrices. You are subtracting, you are dividing, you are doing the multiplication and all, right? So this is what the introduction. See, in image arithmetic, we consider operations such as I of xy equals to a of xy into b of xy. So what it means, here your a of xy is nothing but your one of the image, and this image is in terms of matrix. This is your another image into the term of matrix, and you are applying some arithmetic operation. This operation could be addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, difference, so many things. Now here this A and B that could be derived from the different source. Such operations are particularly used on modeling image acquisition as a result of perfect image corrupted with additive and multiplicative noise. So if you want to remove the noise, if you want your image free of noise, then you are multiplying, dividing, you are doing such kind of operations on your image, right? And this noise is often introduced either by the transmission medium or by the camera, right? So this thing, image arithmetic, in the theory, what we will learn now, that is into our unit 5, which is noise and image restoration, right? But right now we will see this because it's very easy to do. Okay, here you can check what is arithmetic operations. They all are the pixel wise, right? So such kind of addition means you are doing the intensity additions, right? No, whatever the values filled as your matrix, that is what, that would be your intensities. So that intensities of your one image that you are adding with the another image, and finally you are getting your R. But here what will become the problem? Suppose in your one of the image, your intensity is suppose 254. In another image also it is 254. Means it is going beyond your range of 0 to 255. So you need to map it again between 0 to 255. So that is known as your clipping, or you are doing it via auto scaling. Okay, these two terms you are doing via these two things, clipping and via auto scaling. What the clipping will do, it will do what? If whatever the image sorry, intensity value you are having less than 0 na, it will map it exactly with 0. and whatever the value which you are having above 255, it will map exactly with 255. It means that you will have all the white color pixels only. Fine. So, and another one, this is what the auto scaling. It is just like your log that what we have learned today. Right? Large mapping, we are mapping into the narrow. So it is not like that above this range 255, all the pixels will become 255. No, it is not like that. It will do auto scaling, that if suppose your pixels are between 0 to this range, then they will map to 0. If it is between the 10 to some of the range 20, then it will map to your 1. It is something like that. What they are applying, that we don't know, but they will do it via this formula. Fine. So this is what they are doing, the auto scaling. Okay. So I hope you are getting few things. So what would be my maximum over here? Maybe it is 65025. Why? Because my one of the image is having 255 intensity. My another image is 255, and I am doing multiplication. So it is 255 square. So the range would be like this. If it is subtraction, then one value is 0 and another value is 255, and I am doing 0 minus 255. So I can have minus 255, 2 plus 255. So that is what the range is. Okay, and here this is what addition. One variable with 255, another one with 255. It means 255 into 2. So you will have the max value 510 in addition. So I hope you guys are getting what I'm saying is. Say at least yes or no. Yes. Okay. Great. So here you see this. What is the procedure? That I'll show you. But just go to the last part. What you have to observe. What should be your observation is, do the subtraction and difference operation and compare the result. What is there in subtraction and what is there in difference? Because difference and the subtraction, they are very similar, but you can check the formulas that how it is working. Right? Into the difference, you will be having only the positive values. Right? You can check it into the theory. And do the multiplication operation first with clipping and do it with the auto scaling and compare the result, what you are getting. So this is what we are going to observe, and I'm showing you how to do it. See, this is what we are having this in image arithmetic. Now what we are doing is we are selecting one image. So this is what the image, your favorite is this maybe. So let's keep this. Okay. And now what you are doing is addition with what? Your secondary image. You can check here. One of the image is the dull image, means it is having some dark gray pixels. One is the bright image, which is having near to white color image, and gradient which is from dark to light color image. Fine. Dark to light color image. So what I'm doing, first I'm doing addition with this dull color image, right? Dull image. And now I'll run. So what I'm getting, see this. Fine. If I'm choosing here clipping, every time I'll choose clipping here, suppose, and I'll do this operation, then I'll choose this, that is the auto scaling, and then I'll run. You will get the difference. Why into the clipping you are getting the difference? Because in clipping, you know, if any less than 0 value is there, it will keep exactly 0. And if any greater than 255 value, it will keep exactly 255. So we are having white color pixels more. You can check. we have bright pixels only. Why? Because we are adding intensities of two images. So here suppose intensity is, suppose here is 50 and intensity of this is maybe 35. So 50 plus 35 at any one pixel. Right, no? So this is how it's working. I hope it is very easy to understand what is addition and all. Then you can check for subtraction and you can run. With the dull image, then we are doing difference and you can check. See here, see this thing specially, right? Then multiplication and you can run. See, this is what happening. Whenever we will do the multiplication, it would be greater than 255 only. Whenever it is greater than 255, it will become 255. And the 255 is for white color. So we are getting white color image. But the same thing you can check with auto scaling. So you will get the result at least. Right? They are mapping it. So this is what they have asked for the observation. Right, then do this multiplication with clipping first and do the multiplication with the auto scaling. Then this division, right? This is what the division. You will get only black color image. And with the auto scaling, you are getting the result. Why? Division means whatever is less than 0. Suppose 1 divided by 50. So it is less than 0 value, 0 point something. So it will consider it as 0, equals to 0 in clipping. So you will get all the pixels with the black color. But if you will choose here auto scaling, you will get the good results. So please do this. There's all the things now with the bright color, with the gradient. With the gradient also you can see the addition. You can check this subtraction. Because here I am having dark color and I'm subtracting it. So it would become bright. Because gradient you can check it's from dark to light. Right? Then same way you can check the difference. See this? This is what the difference value. This is what about the multiplication. See, dark to bright. And you can check the division. Right? See here. Somehow white color pixels. Right? And then everything I'm having with black. With the gradient. Okay? And for the clipping, see this. Fine. So just observe the result. Don't go much into the theory. Do it. Fine, everyone. Please finish this experiment. I'm giving you 15 minutes. Fine. So now you can start with the third experiment if you have done this. The next one is affine transformation. This affine transformation means, do you remember in our first unit we have seen this translation, rotation and scaling? Do you remember this? Scaling means zoom in, zoom out. Then we have seen what is rotation. At some degree we are rotating our image. It's very simple to do. Then the translation. How to translate, from your X and Y, from the top corner, how many pixels you want to leave and then you want your image. That is what the translation. So this what we are doing with the bilinear, bicubic and nearest neighbor things. Fine. Bicubic, I said they will check for 16 nearby pixels, if you remember. This is what we have discussed in theory, if you remember. Neighborhood means it will consider only the 8 pixels. Bilinear, you just search how many pixels it will consider. That is your task I'm giving you. Name itself says, but still. To learn the effect from multiple transformation, you can check this introduction, this theory. See, here they have given you the formula that how they are doing. Okay, so this is what the formula for translation, rotation and scaling. For the rotation, you can check here, there would be the theta, right? You can check the degree here. If I'll give here, no, 30 degree, it will rotate your image onto the 30 degree, right? Then you can go to this procedure and how we are transforming it. Directly go to the experiment. I'm showing you how to do it. Now here I already said that scaling means what? Zoom in, zoom out. And we said that we are having known pixels. They are only suppose 300 cross 300. That is for what? My input image, right? Whatever I'll choose, they will be of 300 cross 300 pixels, right? Now what I want is, I want to zoom in by 1x. 1x means it will have now around 600 cross 600 pixels. I know only about 300 cross 300 intensity. So whatever the newly that 300 cross, that another 300 pixels I'm having, for those I don't know intensity values, but I need to fill it with something. So with that filling, you can choose this interpolation technique. This interpolation technique, either it is just choosing by nearest, either it is choosing by bilinear, either it is choosing by this bicubic, right? Based on that, you will get to know the result, that which one is the effective technique. Fine. So first what you need to do, you just need to select one image. So this is what the image I'm choosing. After that, you are doing this upscale. What is the upscale? That is zoom in. And what is the downscale? That is zoom out. Fine. After that, you are choosing this nearest one. Okay, this nearest one. And here you can run it. Sorry, I haven't chosen this X. That you need to choose either 1 or 2 or 3, means how much you want to zoom in. I want to do it 1x, and then I'll run. Then it will show me the image that is around 600 cross 600, near to that, right? When you will check with this full view, full size image, you can check somehow it is blurred, right? So that is the but obvious thing, it is somehow blurred. Fine. Now you can check with the bilinear. Though you won't get much difference in this, but if you want to see the actual difference, now do it 2x, or it is like the 3x, 4x. Then you will get to know what is the actual difference between these three techniques: nearest, bilinear, and this bicubic. So just try this, then I'll explain you what is rotation and this translation. Please do it. Yes, everyone. So here you can check. I have done this with the 2x, right? Here I have chosen this for this 2x, and here I'm just choosing nearest one first, right? And you can check the result. We are having almost here the pixel size 1200 cross 1200, and you can check this line. You can check this, right? Fine. Now you can check this with bilinear, the same thing. Have you seen this? So have you seen this difference? If I'm choosing this bilinear, then again you can choose this bicubic, which would be much better than that. It is loading the image, because if the number of pixels will get increased, no? So you can see this. Right? So this is how you can check the difference, that what is better than the other. I hope you are getting. Fine. So this is what your upscaling. Now you are doing the downscale. Downscale means exactly by one you are doing the downscale, means zoom out. So if your size is here 300 cross 300, no, you will get the another size that is 150 cross 150. Fine, because it is downscale. Zoom out. Fine. So this is what you are getting. Okay, fine. Now you can see about this rotation. You can check the rotation. You can select here the angle degrees. Suppose I have kept here the 30, right? I'm keeping here this 30 and I'll run. Then it will just shift my particular image onto the 30-degree. Fine. This is what it is doing. Same way you can check the translation. Translation means how many pixels. Suppose I am keeping here 30 and this Y I am keeping here 20. So my rows will start from this 30 pixels and my column will get start from the 20 pixels from the above. You can check this. See here this gap. This is your X is 30 and this Y is your 20. Right? You can run this and you can check. Okay. So this is called as translation. Fine. Just try this and after 5 minutes we'll start with another experiment of virtual lab. Right. Fine. Everyone, are you getting what we are doing is? Okay. Fine. So the next experiment that you can choose is neighborhood operations. Here the point operations that what you will do now, that is image enhancement techniques that what we are learning right now, na piecewise transformations and intensity transformation functions and all. Over there we have learned about the log and that all. Right, so that we will do at the next time. But for now, we will start with this because this is what you are going to learn. This is not you have learned yet. This is about the filtering techniques. But once you will see this, no, you will have that interest into the filtering techniques. That what we are going to learn in our very next to next session, right? Into theory. So just check this neighborhood operations. Whether you are applying here linear filtering or non-linear filtering. Introduction, you can read it out, but I'll directly go to the theory. Here, you can check, as we have already said this thing, filter size you are generally choosing like 3 cross 3 and 5 cross 5 and 9 cross 9 or something, right? So here, whatever they have taken the example, no, that is of 3 cross 3. Okay, and here into this virtual lab they are showing you 5 cross 5 also, 7 cross 7, 9 cross 9 also. So you can compare the results. You can check here. See, this is what we have already discussed, that what is actually filter. Filter is means predefined task. If I'm saying average filter, so what it will do? It will do the averaging, no? Very obvious. So here if I'm choosing 3x3 mask, right, then I am hovering over on this, right, and I'm applying that 1 into 1, 1 into 1, 2 into 1. I mean what you need to do is you just need to take this 9 pixels, you just need to do the summation of it, and finally you will divide it by 9, because you have total number of pixels 9 in 3x3. So this is what, how you are calculating average. This average will always reflected on your middle pixel, always. So if my filter is over here, this 3 will be reflected. This 3 will become now 4 because your average is 4. So this is how you are changing the intensity value. Another example they have shown to you, this 872, 781, 921, and when you will get the average, no, it is not 8. Instead of it is 5. So this 8 will become now 5, and you are changing it, right? So this is how, I mean, why here you are 7, why you are having this 5. So when you will apply this on each and every pixel, no, you will get the new intensity values. All the pixels intensity has been changed, you can check, right? Because we are applying the filters like that. We are applying the filters like that. You can imagine this is your very first pixel, no? So this filters 1 is over here, and the other things are out of the border. You can imagine this thing, right? So the whatever the pixels who are not having that range, they will become 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and you are finding the average and it is 1 only, right? And so on, you will move your filter to each and every pixels, each and every row, each and every pixel. So its intensity will get changed. This is what we are going to learn in our theory. But once you will see the same application with the practical approach, na, you will get to know this thing very well into theory. So here in this, we are having 3 filters: straight averaging filter, triangular filter, and this Gaussian filter. You can see this triangular filter, na, that is very sharp cutoff kind of filter, very sharp. It is not having that smooth image. Blending of this sharp means either this range or this range, directly like this. But smooth means you are having dark, dark to light, 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 like that. Right? So it's a smoother one. And always we are preferring the smoother one. And you can check, you will get the better results with Gaussian only. Okay? So here these 3 are the linear filters. And this non-linear filters, they have given, that is median filter, and one more filter, that is the unsharp one. But that we are using in frequency domain, median we are using in spatial domain. So we are having linear, non-linear filters. Okay? You just don't go into the theory much. It is perfectly fine. If you don't know anything, then also it is perfectly fine. Then here is the procedure they have given, but that I'm explaining you. What kind of observations you can do, just read it out. What kind of observation you need to do? You just need to choose the different neighborhood size. Either it is 3x3 or 5x5 or 7x7, right? The straight average and Gaussian average on the same image, same neighborhood size, and compare the result. You will always get better result with Gaussian. So directly go to this experiment. We will select any of the image. Here we are choosing, suppose this one. is flower image. First, we are choosing the straight average, right? And with the 3 cross 3. And now we are doing averaging of this pixel. Averaging will do always blurring of the things. That is for sure. Average will do some kind of blur, means it is used for smoothing. So you can check the results, right? Now if you are applying 5 cross 5, run it. Apply 7 cross 7, run it. So you have observed that thing. We are just increasing the filter size, no? That each and every time we will be having more blur image, which we don't want. So that is why generally as a filter we are choosing 3 cross 3. Okay, that is why we are choosing 3 cross 3. Don't take a mask of 11 cross 11, 15 cross 15. No, it will give you bad results. That is why you have seen, no, 7 cross 7 is much blurred image. If you will try with 5 cross 5, reasonably okay. If you will choose 3 cross 3, much better, right? So always choose 3 cross 3. Now you can choose this triangular filter, run this. You have better result than the previous in 3 cross 3, right? 5 cross 5, of course, blurred one. 7 cross 7, much blurred, right? The same you can try with the Gaussian. Gaussian 3 cross 3, very good results, you can say. Almost very good. 5 cross 5, of course, it would be blurred. 7 cross 7 also it is blurred, right? Have you seen the result? When I'm choosing this straight average and 7 cross 7, it is much blurred. And when I'll choose Gaussian, 7 cross 7 only, and when I'll run, just see the change, right? Somehow better than the straight average filter. Okay? So please try this. Then I'm explaining this non-linear filter. Please try this. fine. If you've done it, see this median filter, that is for the non-linear, no? So basically this filter we are using when to remove the noise. Okay, this filter we are using, though all the filters are actually used for to remove the noise, but this is particularly used for salt and paper kind of noise. Salt and paper means dots. Do you remember that? I have shown you one of the figure into the theory session that it was having a white and black color dots, right? So you can better observe such kind of thing, because see, we don't have any noisy image, right? That I'll show you that, see how it works. But around you can check on this or on this, okay? Because here we will be having some dots, right? No, white and black dots over here, okay? And then we will apply this median and you can run this and you can check. Have you seen this? Right? Those dots are removed. Okay? The same thing you can even check with this one. You can apply the median and you can run it. See, the dots are removed. Okay? So same way you can apply this unsharp, that is also used for the same thing, right? Not for the salt and paper, huh? Their purpose is actually different. This we are using in frequency domain, and we will learn more about this unsharp, but you can check this. Much better image, right? Same way you can select again this tiger image and we can check this. We will run with the unsharp one. See, the clear features, very sharp features, right? That is only the name itself says, unsharp. Fine. So these are what all about this different filtering techniques which we haven't seen in the theory yet. We are going to see, but if you have seen the results, no, you will have the better idea. Fine. You can finish this, and after that you can at least apply that contrast stretching with the built-in function, because the same thing, this negative, then one of this contrast stretching and this thresholding, this we will do manually into our lab sessions, into the very next session, but at least with the built-in function you can try it now, so that you can do for a now. Okay, do it and finish these experiments, virtual lab experiments, right? This image negative and this contrast stretching, this is what we have already done into our theory sessions. I've already shown you the code for this. Use the function im adjust and use im complement for negative, right? Do it. Meanwhile, you can write down your enrollment numbers here. Meanwhile, you guys can write down your enrollment numbers here. And if this is done, what is the contrast stretching and image negative? Once it is done, then and only then you may leave the meet. It's just 1 or 2 line code, right? It won't take much time. Your numbers? So if it is done and you don't have any doubts on it, then you may leave. Is it working? Aziz, Hardish, Kushal, Hardish, is it working? Fine, you all may leave.